Okay, so this will be part number 6. In this part, we are going to change our node example project in order to use the agent or the node that we just created. So to not confuse everybody, I've copied over the current project from node example, and now I have node example with a 2 at the end. So that's a different project. And I've extended the files a little bit. So let's take a look at the files. So this is what we already had in the old section, and now I've also introduced a production section, a production stage. So what's new in here? First, we have a agent. So this specifies on which of the Jenkins agents to execute the stuff. At the top, we specified any agent. So this section could be executed on the master or any other agent that is added and allows us to execute jobs. When we set up the job, we changed, let me show you that. We configured it to only build jobs with label expressions matching this node. So basically, this is the label expression that is matching the node. So we will execute the stage only on the newly created node. Then I added another when statement. So since this is my production, I only want to deploy code to production whenever there is a push to the master. And you don't want to have any testing branches deployed to master. So just the master branch should be deployed to production. Okay, environment is pretty much the same. We have the Jenkins node cookie so that Jenkins is not going to kill our node process at the end. And then we have the password. So for the building stage at the beginning, I set up example password 1, and now I define a password for production. So first, we need to create that inside Jenkins. So again, we go back, we go to the credentials section and create a new set of credentials. This time, we just need a secret text, which will be our password. Hold on. So example password production. Okay, I copied the name. So let's put that in here. And let's just enter production password. And click save. So then we go down, and the next section is pretty much the same. There is only one small difference. I am not starting it in the development type, but in the production type. So these changes I've made to the project. And at the beginning, I also had in the ecosystem, I specified port 80 and 81. But as I am starting the process as a non-root user, I'll be starting the process as the user Jenkins. And non-root users cannot create a socket listen on ports from 1 to 1024. That way I am picking a port a little bit higher. So the staging, if I would deploy to staging, it would create a socket listen on port 3001. But this time we are going to send the code to production, so it will listen on port 3002. The server JSON is still the same. Nothing has changed in here. So let's go back to Jenkins. And now we are going to create a new project with the second repository. Let's call that node example number 2. And click on Multibranch pipeline, and we can copy over the settings from the other project. Okay, so then we are going to change the address to HTTPS. Change that over here to a / and add the 2 at the end of the repository. So we'll now effectively be switching over to the other repository. And since it is a public repository, I do not need to select any credentials. Scroll down, and I will also uncheck the automated build. So now it's basically scanning the pipeline, and then it will trigger a build. So let's go to the console output of this build. So first it's going to run on Jenkins, so here on the master, like it did before. And it's going to run the npm install. And then it's going to run the system in the development mode locally on Jenkins. Then the next step is running on the node that we just created in the last video, and also in the home directory. Then it will do the git cloning, pull all the files, run the npm install, and then it will start or restart, and this time in the production environment. So if we take a look back here, production environment means port 3002. And when we launched the Docker container, okay, that's too much up. We started it with forwarding that port. So I can go over here, go to port 3002, and we have our system up and running. We run in the production mode, and we have the production password that we just set up in Jenkins. So this is a sort of easy way to deploy small projects. For bigger projects, I would probably recommend building some sort of Debian packages and then rolling these out, because that's much easier. And you could, for example, use aptly for that, which is a very simple, small tool which you can use to create your own repositories, pull update from other repositories, and combine them with your own packages.